Today, we've got a huge update on the Crysencio Summerville situation. This story is moving pretty quickly. Now, Roma have had, as things stand right now, two bids rejected by West Ham. And Roma appear to be preparing a third bid. They're not going away anytime soon. Multiple Italian outlets are now claiming that Roma and ourselves are down to the finer details of working this deal out, which will roughly equate to 50 million euros transfer fee, which in pound sterling is 42.5 million pounds. And there's new information that's come out about the fee structure, the wages, the agent commission, release clauses, or not, as the case may be. There's a little bit of ambiguity about this. And now there is actually a massive twist involving Leeds United that effectively will give us a £6 million bonus. So let's get stuck into this. Because as reported earlier by Gianluca Di Marzio and Italian Football News, Roma's second bid for Summerville was 46 million euros, which converts roughly into pound sterling to 39.1 million pounds. And we rejected it instantaneously. No negotiations, no counter offer, just a straight no. And that told everyone everything, really. We know that Premier League clubs are circling, and we're not going to undersell a 24-year-old Premier League proven winger. Doesn't make sense. Now, before we go any deeper, if you're enjoying this update so far, do me a favour, just drop a like on the stream, give us a hype if you've got one available. That's what helps to push this video out to more West Ham United fans. And why don't you get your comments in the section below? And I'll get stuck into as many of them as I possibly can. Share this onto your social media platforms. And if you're new around here, if you could get out your mobile device and scan that QR code you've got in the top left, that will take you to our YouTube subscription page. Subscribing is free, data safe, and it only takes a couple of seconds of your time. It helps to grow the channel. It's something bigger than it, better than it is. As you currently find it, we thank you very much indeed for your support. So let's get stuck back into it. Now, Sport Media Set then reported that Roma were preparing a third bid. And this time, the price set at £42 million plus bonuses. The total package is expected to be 50 million euros, which converts into pound sterling to 42.5 million pounds. Now, this aligns with new reporting from Football Italia, Matteo Moretto, and Corriere dello Sport. Roma have clearly decided to go all out for Crysencio Summerville to get into Stadio Olimpico. Now, Corriere dello Sport's Eleonora Trotta, I don't know if she's related to Dale or Rodney, but she says that us and Roma have a general agreement on the structure of the deal, which is 45 million euros fixed fee, which is 38.25 million pounds sterling, 5 million euro bonuses, which is another 4.25 million pounds. So the total of 50 million euros, which works out to 42.5 million pounds. This is the first time that multiple Italian outlets have aligned on the numbers. Roma believe that this package will be enough to get the deal done. Now, Trotter also reports that Crysencio Summerville himself has agreed basic personal terms with Roma. So that means that salary expectations are aligned. His role in the team has been discussed, and he clearly seems to be happy with that. The contract length have been roughly agreed. The player is clearly open to the move. The only thing left on the player's side is agent commission. This is believed to be the current sticking point. Roma and ourselves are reportedly working through the intermediaries right now. Earlier reporting, though, said that Crysencio Summerville wanted 6 million euros a year, which is around 5.1 million pounds. Roma, on the other hand, were offering between 4 and 4.5 million euros, which is 3.4 to 3.83 million pounds. But the fact that personal terms are now said to be basically agreed suggests that Roma have moved closer to Crysencio Summerville's demands. And this is a big shift because initially Roma were miles off. This next bit's quite wild though, because different Italian outlets are reporting completely different things. So, for example, Sport Italia says there is a clause, it expires within 24 hours, and it's under 50 million euros. Sport Media Set, on the other hand, says that the clause is actually 53 million euros. Sky Sports Italia says there is no clause at all. And Moretto says it's less of a clause and more of a pact which is linked to relegation. So, what's the truth? Well, the most likely scenario is that Crysencio Summerville has a gentleman's agreement in place, allowing him to leave if we were relegated, but this is not a formal clause. So, this would explain why we are negotiating, Roma are pushing, Premier League clubs haven't activated anything because if a real clause existed, the deal you would have thought would all be done by now. But here's a twist that works massively in our favour for a change. Because according to Claret and Hugh, Leeds United made a huge mistake when they sold Crysencio Summerville to us in 2024. They forgot to include a sell-on clause. Now, if Leeds United had inserted what is the standard these days of a 15% sell-on clause, as a result of this deal in its current structure, they would now be owed over £6 million from this sale. Instead, that money stays with us. So this means we keep every penny of the profit. We gain an extra £6 million that Leeds United would have taken. So our financial position improves as a result. So the Crysencio Summerville sale now becomes even more valuable to us. Given that we bought Crysencio Summerville for £24.9 million, selling him for £42.5 million 2 years later already is giving us a big profit. But Leeds United's mistake is effectively handing us a £6 million bonus. So that's a rare case of a Sullivan Brady era transfer that's actually worked out for us. But even a stopped clock is right twice a day, right? Now, earlier reports have said that Aston Villa and Manchester United were apparently leading interest from Premier League clubs. They can offer Champions League football. They're doing an aggressive recruitment drive, and they both have a clear need for wide players, especially, I would suggest, Aston Villa. But here's the key. Neither club has seen fit to make a formalised bid. The only club that are pushing money onto the table right now are Roma. Now, if Aston Villa or Manchester United decide to enter this race late for Crysencio Summerville, they could potentially blow Roma out of the water. But right now, Roma have a clear run. Now, based on all the latest reporting, we've got Roma's third bid, which is said to be £42 million plus bonuses, a total package of £42.5 million. Then players' terms have been agreed. There is a general agreement between both ourselves and Roma. There is a remaining issue, as I say, over agent commission. There's also some stories about clauses in Crysencio Summerville's deal which appear to contradict one another. However, Leeds' mistake gives us what is effectively a £6 million bonus, and we are expected, as a result of our relegation, to sell Crysencio Summerville. Now, Roma believe they're close. We appear willing to sell, and Crysencio Summerville seems ready to move on from West Ham United. So, unless a Premier League club crashes the party, it would appear that this deal is heading towards a completion. Now, if you've made it this far, then you're clearly one of the stalwarts, and I appreciate you for that. If you could do me a favour before you go, just drop a like on the stream, give us a hype if you have one available. It's this that pushes the content out to places it otherwise might not reach. Get your comments in the section below, and I'll answer as many of them as I possibly can. Why don't you consider sharing this onto your social media platforms? And last but by no means least, if I can just draw your attention to that QR code that sits in the top left-hand corner of your screen. If you scan that with your mobile device, that will take you to our YouTube subscription page. Subscribing is free, data safe, and it only takes a couple of seconds of your time. All it does is help to grow the channel into something bigger and better than what it is as you find it. Appreciate your support on this one, and I'll see you next time. Come on, you Irons.